What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to this edition of Elite Level Game. I, of course, am joined by the incomparable Coach Everett Overton. What's going on, EO?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to see you, Donovan. I know you're recovering right now, but
Yeah.
it's good to be back with you. And shout out to the chat room. We got a good topic for you guys tonight. Don't hesitate to call in with your questions.
You know it. And we notice, well, that's the first thing I notice is that you shaved the beard, man.
Oh
A
yeah.
little off topic. How did you, what brought that on?
You know what? A while ago, I told my viewers that the beard doesn't make the man; it's the man that makes the beard. And
Okay.
a lot of guys today think if they grow a beard, they're like, they're going to be more attractive. That they're going to be more attractive to the woman, and it's just simply not true. Now, physically, you might be more appealing. Like there might be a certain sex appeal that you didn't have prior to the beard. But if the mindset isn't there, if the behavior and the lifestyle isn't there, then it's really not going to matter. So
Okay.
I just was done with the maintenance. I'll probably grow it back
Okay.
for the month of November. I'll probably let it come back in.
Ah,
But
no shave
it's been
November.
it's yeah, it's been nice to actually shave a little bit. I haven't had an opportunity to shave and use like aftershave and stuff. So
Wow.
it's been nice. I might shave one more time tomorrow, and then I'll let the beard grow back.
Okay, good stuff, man. I've had a beard since 2010. So it's gonna be and it's interesting. So I moved to Vegas in July of 2010 and found this community and life change and all that. And I remember I did November came. They're like, hey, no shave November, blah, 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 blah. So I
Mm.
decided to just let it grow because everybody else is doing it. And to that point, I could grow a beard, but it was patchy in some
Yeah,
areas and it was kind of thin. I
yeah,
didn't because I had been, good God, what was I, 35 at that or 32 at that point? I'd been shaving, I've been shaving my whole life, literally my whole
right.
life. Every once in a while, I'd let something grow in, maybe a goatee, but nothing like that. All of a sudden, a month later, poof, it's all there and it's all full. I've had it ever since.
Yeah, no, it's a good look on you. I mean, again, I'm not a, I could grow a nice full beard as people have seen, but I just wanted to do it for myself. I wanted to switch it up, and I'll
Good.
grow it back eventually. But it's been nice to shave. Like I said, it's something I haven't done in many years, where I was able to kind of shave my entire face, hot towel, the whole
Oh,
shebang. It's really nice. I've been enjoying it.
I'll just give you stuff like the old school barbershop treatment, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well let's get into it, man. So today's
Cool.
topic is, can you turn a hoe into a housewife? Now, the obvious answer to that is no. But there is nuance to this question, and the nuance is fairly obvious. If you are going to deal with if you're going to deal with today's women on a sexual level, if you're going to get into any sort of relationship with them, whether it be casual sex, fuck buddy arrangements, long-term cohabiting, long-term relationship. Men in this community, we have resolved our minds to understand that any given woman, better than 9 out of 10 times, when you meet a woman and there's some sexual interest, she's got some hoe tendencies. She's slept around. She's got a high body count. She's ridden the carousel. She's got bad habits. She's cheated on boyfriends. They've cheated on husbands. This is just how it is. Now, with this information in mind, you have one of two choices. You can either A, check out of the dating market because, and listen, I'm not going to fault anyone for checking out of the dating market, because dealing with today's women it's literally the most difficult it's ever been in human history. That's your first option. Or you can go with your second option, learn how to deal with these women in such a way that is beneficial and advantageous to you.
Yep.
So when I ask the question, can you turn a hoe into a housewife? Again, the answer is clearly no. But if you know what you're doing, you can turn a woman who has bad habits, who is a hoe, who has hoe tendencies, you can turn her into a woman that can serve and benefit you. What are your thoughts on that, EO?
Okay, so quick question. Are we talking about actually marrying the woman, or are we
Oh,
just
no, no,
talking
no, no.
about
Oh
just
my God.
dealing with the woman?
Oh
Okay,
my
we're
God,
talking about
dude.
just
I'm so
dealing
glad.
with her. Okay. All
Listen,
right,
I'm
cool. I
so
wanted
glad.
to clear it up
All right.
because I was
Yes.
going to
No
say,
marriage. No, do not marry these bitches. No.
yeah, yeah. So definitely not. I always say the only way you should be dealing with any person, but specifically a woman, is that if she brings you some sort of value. And so, I look at it this way. Many of these women that I've known in my life, let's say they got fucked by 50 men. But I told my audience this the other day. If you want to focus on the number, you might be limiting yourself, because if let's say she went on a run when she was 21 to 25, she fucked 60 guys. Let's just say hypothetically, for the sake of this conversation, one time. So she fucked 60 guys once. But if I fuck any girl, I'm probably going to fuck her 5,000 times, and I'm going to turn her out. She's going to be my hoe. She'll never forget me. I'm going to imprint her, and no man stands a chance after me. That's just my mindset. So what would you rather have? Would you rather have the girl that just went on a run? She's young. She has no leadership. She's, a hot girl summer. And so she goes and fucks 60 guys one time, or let's just say maybe twice, or she fucks me and I fuck her 5,000 times and she's obsessed with me. Who would you rather try to bring into your situation afterwards? The girl who just went on a run and she's getting tired now. She's like, you know what? These guys ain't shit. I guess I am going to look for somebody that I can, maybe serve in some way, or, look up to, or whatever. She's just changed her mind.
Right.
Or me, the woman that I've released back to the game, and she and now she's all fucked up, like she might be fucked up. She misses me. She feels like I can't be replaced. So it all comes down to being able to qualify these women, figure out what their potential is. Look, I don't really care what a woman's body count is. I'm looking at it this way. What kind of skills do you have?
Okay.
Now clearly, I shouldn't say I don't care. It's something to consider. I'd rather go with a girl who's been serving a man for let's say, for example, she was married or in a relationship for 5 years, and then they broke up, things didn't work out. She has some relationship experience. I'd rather take that woman, and because I think she's going to know how to cook, she's going to know how to clean, because anytime you hold a job for a certain amount of time, you're going to have some experience. So that's why they ask these questions at interviews. They're like, how long have you been at this position? Oh, I've been there 3 months. Okay. Why only 3 months? Well, it didn't work out. Okay. How about the job before that? Seasonal. So you're thinking like, okay, this woman doesn't have any skills. She has no relationship skills. She doesn't know what it means to communicate with a man, serve a man, be an asset to a man. So it comes down to this. If she just spent her 20s fucking everybody, drinking alcohol, doing drugs, just running up her numbers and not getting any real experience with a man, she's worthless. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not even worth your time. I'd rather you find a woman who is either married or in a relationship, even 2 serious relationships, and she was there for 3 years plus, 2 to 3 years plus, because if she could stay there for 2 to 3 years plus, she had to have learned something.
I wholeheartedly agree. And those who have followed me for any number of months or years, I'm very transparent about my relationship with Dev. And it's interesting because a lot of people make assumptions based on little snippets that they heard. So for instance, when I met Dev, she was sleeping around. Right. And so there's a content creator who says, well, Donovan is contradicting himself, because he says that women, sport fuck their way through their 20s and 30s. And then they settle down with the beta males after they've had their fill of random dick. Well, that's exactly what Donovan Sharpe is doing. Well, what that idiot doesn't realize is that before I met Devin, she had been married for 17 years. Okay. She got married at 21 years old. She got divorced at 39. 6 months after her divorce, that's when I found her. And of course, the rest is history. A lot of people, and I guess I should start being more transparent about this. I think that's probably what I'm going to start talking a little bit more about, because all anyone knows about Dev at this point are just surface levels. Because you guys know she's great at SEO. You guys know she does whatever I want. She wears whatever I want. You all know she has a great body and all this other kind of stuff. But I think a lot of people are unaware of the fact that part of the reason Devin is part of the reason I have a solid relationship with her for now is because, just like you said, she was married for 17 years. And so she understands what it's like to be in a relationship. She understands overcoming adversity. She understands. And this 17 years is a lifetime. It is a lifetime. And so when you meet such a woman who has been in that kind of a committed, legally married for 17 years, just like you said, you know she has some skills, dude. And Dev has all the skills, dude. She knows how to grill out a barbecue. She knows how to mow the lawn. Now, obviously, she doesn't have to do any of that stuff for me, but I said all that to say that Devin had excellent relationship skills.
Yes.
Not only that, obviously she had SEO experience and she was attractive, and she's attractive for a woman her age. That's what made her an attractive prospect. Had things been a little different in one way or another, we might not be sitting here, because if she had sport fucked her, if she had been on the carousel through her 20s and 30s, number one, we know she doesn't have relationship skills. Number two, her body count is 10 times higher than it probably would have been. And so I think what a lot of people need to understand is that not all hoes are created equal. Was Devin a hoe when I met her? She absolutely was. She was fucking around. She was fucking around just like every other girl. But what made her a more attractive prospect than the 25-year-old who wanted to throw herself at me is that she had relationship skills that could benefit me. I knew, and listen, man, her marriage of 17 years, obviously, if it were a good marriage, she would still be in it. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it was terrible the whole way through. Every relationship has adversity. And so the fact that she was in a relationship for damn near 2 decades lets me know, at least in the short term, that when there's adversity, she's not just going to cut bait and run. And so was Devin a hoe when I met her? Absolutely. I haven't turned her into a housewife, but her past and her age actually made her an attractive prospect. And so far it seems to be working.
You know, I'll say this real quick. Every woman's gonna bring some problems to you. Okay, if she's not a hoe, then she's a basket case. Okay, you know, I'm gonna say this in the realest way I know how. If she's not out there throwing the pussy around to every guy in town, she's probably nuts in some other ways. Because a woman without proper leadership is going to self-destruct. I've heard Donovan Sharpe say this, and I've heard other men who actually understand the game say this. Without leadership, she's gonna go nowhere. So whether she's out there fucking everybody or she's sitting in her room being a fucking weirdo, playing with voodoo dolls, it really doesn't matter. Like, you're still gonna have to like overcome something with every woman that you deal with. And look, you know, even like Devin, you said 17 years of marriage. Look, when it was over, she probably wanted to experience a little bit of freedom, and she went out there and did what she was doing. You were able to take her and monetize her, and that's the important thing. So whether she fucked 100 guys, see, I say this: if I'll take a woman, I would take a woman who fucked 100 guys if all 100 guys taught her some real shit.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
If I would take her versus some chick out there who's 21 or 22, 25, 50 bodies. Everybody pumped and dumped her. All she does is drink. She doesn't know what she wants in life. There's no leadership. That woman is unfortunately worthless to herself and worthless to a man. But if I found a woman who dated a pimp, dated a lawyer, dated a doctor, and she picked up some game from each and every guy, if he was able to teach her something, then I would definitely take that girl and bring her on the team.
Okay, good stuff. Let's see. Cody Marshall says, I'd rather the one that was in a relationship a while than the ones who have been with too many people. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. You actually made me think of something that I had not really ever thought about before. Because when we talk about, well, how many guys has a woman slept with? Obviously, a woman's body count is a huge determining factor in terms of her value. But it's like, the older and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that a girl who's got 300 bodies is not going to turn your life upside down. I get that, and I totally understand that. However, not all dicks are created equal, and not all hoes are created equal. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't think about having a young 20-something, smoke show as a girlfriend from time to time, but I've done that before. And while it's a lot of fun, while it's great to get all the pre-selection, all the validation from your boys, having a girl who looks like that on your arm, girls like that. And this was back when there's almost 9 years ago. This was back when I was in Vegas. Hot girls are even more useless today than they've ever been. Listen, the pretty 21-year-old back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, they came ready-made for
Mhm.
relationships. Their mothers taught
Mhm.
them how to cook, how to clean, how to iron clothes, how to make a home, how to, gave them ideas, trained them how to be good wives and mothers. Listen, any half decent 21-year-old is the typical Instagram slut. So the only thing she really knows how to do is to take butt selfies. Now, if you're in your mid 50s and you're retired and you don't have to worry about money for the rest of your life, hey, by
Yeah.
all dude, buy you a yacht and bang 21-year-old hot girls all day long, because you don't need, like, at that point in your life, you don't need anyone to be beneficial. You just need a few pieces of meat to kind of
Right.
pass the time by. But when you're our age and we're on our grind, we're trying to build our legacy, we're trying to build,
Mhm.
financial freedom, we're trying to build generational wealth. I don't have the time or the requisite space in my brain to have to deal with a 21-year-old who can't do anything. Is there a 21-year-old out there who maybe knows SEO and can be useful? No, because the average
Unlikely, yeah.
21-year-old girl in this country, even if she's a little bit attractive, is absolutely useless. And girls like that are useless because they've never had to be useful. I've said that since day one. So
Mhm.
I want guys to understand that we're not up here, trying to justify our choices. Well, Donovan's with an older woman, and so he's going to tell us to, no, 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 date whoever you want. Just understand that not all bodies are created equal, number one.
Mhm.
And number two, if a girl if you're going to invite a woman into your life, depending upon what stage you're at, if you're in your 20s, by all means, fuck all the 21-year-olds you want, because you're not really doing shit anyway. But in your 30s and 40s, that's when you really
Mhm.
have to hunker down. Unless you don't want a relationship whatsoever, you get the occasional hookup. But that's where I'm at with my relationship. And I think a lot of guys think that a woman's relationship worth begins and ends with the body count. I don't want to say
Mhm.
that's untrue, but it becomes less of a factor the more useful she proves herself to be.
Well, and another thing for men like us, we don't involve ourselves with women for love.
Right.
I don't love women like that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I take care of my woman. I make sure she's protected. I put her in position to be prosperous to herself and to me and those around me. But I'm not doing it because I'm some head over heels in love simp. I don't even need her to really like me that much, but she just has to honor me and
Sure.
respect me. But if she happens to like me, cool. But it's not something that I'm seeking from her. So just remember that, guys. As you get older and the more experience you get with life and women, you're going to see that this whole love thing is bullshit.
Yep.
You want to be with each other because it makes sense. The two of you can communicate. The two of you don't argue that much, and when you do, it's fast, and you guys can put that fire out pretty quickly. These are the things you want to look for. I'm gonna say this. I have a video coming out that I say if
Okay.
any man is gonna get married, he should the woman should be no higher than a 6.5 on an everyday
Oh, dude.
basis,
Always.
and that and no higher than a 6.5 if you're getting married. Okay, if you're dating, she could be,
Correct.
whatever, bimbo with blonde hair, bleach blonde, whatever you want. But if you're gonna get married and you're a goal oriented man that you want to build an empire, like Donovan just said, you want to build some generational wealth. You don't want to be. You want to marry a chick that's a 6.5. You're attracted to her, but you're not worried about her. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's worried about you. You're not worried about her. And what I mean by a 6.5 is every day she's a 6.5. She's not a
Yeah.
materialistic, woman. But when you want to upgrade her, when you want to turn her into that 8.5, you turn her into that 8.5. So
That's
you
right.
tell her, hey, this is what I want you to wear those black skinny jeans with those knee-high boots and straighten
There you
your
go.
hair and put them glasses on and look like a secretary for me tonight.
There
So
you go.
it's your job to take that 6.5 and then make her that 8.5, but she should not be higher than 8.5, in my opinion. If you're a man that's focused on making money and having an enjoyable relationship. Because look, if she's a 10 and she's used to guys just hitting on her all day long, don't get me wrong. Every woman in the world, she could be a 3 with a mustache and somebody's hitting on her. But and I mean is all she got to
Oh
do.
yeah,
And
you're right.
look at the chicks in Walmart. There's somebody
Oh
right
my
now
God.
hitting on a hippo in the cookie aisle. But I really do mean this. If you want to be a happy man that's not worried about your woman, get a woman that's pretty. She's a 6.5 every single day. She's still got a nice booty and shit, but she's a 6.5. She's not a super attention whore. Are all women attention whores? Of course they
To
are.
some degree,
But
yeah.
she's not a super on steroids attention whore. Okay. And she's head over heels in love with you. And then when you want to make her an 8.5, you do it on a particular Saturday night or a Wednesday night where the two of you go out and you're like, yo, I want you to wear this, this, and this. And in your eyes, she's your 8.5 that night.
There you go. I like that. I had a video that came out a while back called "The Biggest Sacrifice a Man Has to Make in a Long-Term Relationship." And in that video, I talked about my experience working for Ilderton Dodge in High Point, North Carolina. I sold Dodge vehicles for summer out there. And the two vehicles I compared were the Dodge Stratus and the Dodge Viper. Now, the Dodge Viper is the car that every guy wants. It's fast, it's sexy, it's, you know, it's going to turn heads. It's the superior machine. However, maintenance is going to be a hell of a lot higher. The gas mileage is going to be a hell of a lot lower. If anything goes wrong with it, you're looking at least 4 figures just to bring it into the shop. Your insurance premiums are going to go through the roof. And if you get in an accident in a Viper, you may as well just kiss it goodbye. Then there's the Dodge Stratus. It's not as sexy as the Dodge Viper, but it's reliable. It's maintainable, gets better gas mileage. You're going to have a lower car payment. Your insurance premiums are going to be a lot lower. So both cars can get you from point A to point B. There's no doubt about it. As attractive as the Dodge Viper is, the Dodge Stratus is the more sensible option for the long term. Well, you juxtapose that with women who are 8s, 9s, and 10s. And I've said this forever. 8s, 9s, and 10s belong to the game. 8s, 9s, and 10s belong to the game. They belong to the streets. And so the biggest sacrifice a man has to make when he's looking for a long-term relationship, area code 678, I see you in the queue. We'll get our screeners to get to you in just a second. What you're going to have to do, you're going to have to sacrifice looks. And for me, you hit the nail right on the head. The sweet spot in terms of aesthetic, sexual market value is between a 6 and a 7. That's where you want to be. If you're looking to be in a long-term relationship with a woman, she's going to have to be a 6 or a 7. If you're banging an 8, a 9, or a 10, stop thinking about long-term relationships with her. Eventually, she's going to go back to the game, back to the streets where she belongs. A lot of guys idealize being in this wonderful monogamous relationship with this beautiful 8, 9, or 10. That's possible, but it's possible, but it's not likely. Okay. Right. 6s and 7s are the sweet spot. I say this all the time. Devin is a 6. She's an adjustable 6. When she tries a little harder, she's a 7. When she's sucking my dick, she's an 8. If she pretends like she likes it, she's a 9. And if she swallows and pretends she likes it, she's a 10. It really just depends on that time of day. And so while Devin might be a 6 to the outside world, the way she's going to dress up tonight, that'll push her to maybe a 7, 7.5. And so you are 100% right. Men, and that's not lowering your standards. And when we say go for the 6 or 7 instead of an 8, 9, or 10, that's not lowering your standards.
Right.
The way a woman looks should not be the standard, because most good-looking women, especially in this part of the world, are fucking useless. No, don't lower your standards as far as a man. She's still got to be, dude. She's still got to follow. She still has to be submissive. She still has to be feminine. She still has to be docile. But stop watching movies and television that tell you can have a beautiful 8, 9, or 10, because it's just not. I mean, you can have one, but everybody's had a ride and everyone is still going to get on at some point.
Yeah, and the problem is they're so used to getting attention. It's hard for a woman to compartmentalize with that. Even with women ruin phenomenal situations for themselves. I mean, you could put a woman in the perfect situation and she's going to find a way to ruin it if she doesn't have control over herself. And you don't have control over her to a great degree. I mean, you have to control every scenario with the relationship. And that's why I created LTR. But no, just trust me. I've had 10s, I've had 9s, I've had the most beautiful women in Chicago, Las Vegas, all over. And none of them were intelligent. None of them turned me on. They weren't obedient enough. That's not to say they were disrespectful, but I could just tell they were dumb. It's just after a few screws, I was done with them. Now they're talking about, hey, can we watch a movie? No, we're done here. And I'm telling you, if you're gonna find a woman that's a gardener. Find a woman that's a workhorse, like Devin, for example. I just want to throw it out there. I mean, if she served a man for 17 years, and you said she could fire up a grill, she could probably cut the grass. She could probably cut the grass, edge it, and do all that shit. I imagine she probably doesn't because you do, but I bet you she could if you needed her to. And so you don't want a woman that's like, I can't touch the lawnmower. I can't do it. It's like, hey, so you want a workhorse as a wife. You want to fucking, trust me, guys. If you have a girlfriend or a girlfriend, pardon me, she's got to be a workhorse. She's got to be adding value. She's got to be creating, producing revenue for you. Maybe not the actual money itself, but just like Devin does or SNO does. They're out here posting links, building websites, things like that. And so you got to have that or she's not worthy to be there.
Good stuff, man. All right, we got a couple of guys. We got Aaron in Chicago and Ian in California. Let's go to Aaron in Chicago. Aaron in Chicago, you're on the live with Donovan and EO. What you got for us?
How you doing tonight, guys?
Doing good, man. How about you?
What's up, bro?
I'm cool. So my first, I have 2 points actually. Okay. As far as the word hoe, you mean someone that was a prostitute that was in submission to an authentic pimp. I would say she would be the perfect candidate to be a housewife because she's already used to having to submit to this man. She knows what a real man looks like and how things are supposed to operate. And as far as the hoe, meaning just a promiscuous woman, if she has that same brain damage from all that trauma bonding, she's not able to pair bond anymore. There's a high possibility, that she's going to be business minded because she's, I'm just going to use the word emotional. She's emotionally unavailable. So when she looks towards, okay, this is security, this is the bag, this is all I have to do is follow this man's instructions and not slip up sexually. I think he did make the point, as long as she can control herself and her urges, and yeah, she would be a great candidate depending on how she operates in her own life.
What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. Yeah. So he brought up a few good points. I'm going to tell you, all relationships are transactional. And so they should be like introduced by the man. It should never be introduced by the woman. So you should be bringing it up to the woman. Hey, look, this is what I see. This is how I see us being of value to each other for the next 3 months. And after those 3 months are up, we'll decide if we're going to continue this or we're going to add another layer of value to one another. So I'm going to tell you this right now. No man listening to this broadcast should be with any woman for love. You shouldn't be with her because you think she's pretty. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have fun with women. I don't have fun with. I don't need to fuck them to bust nuts. If I bust a nut, that's fine. But I'm speaking for myself here. I don't need to have sex. I'm at the point now where I've had enough sex and I've sexually disciplined myself and my mind. Mm-hmm. I don't need to have sex with women unless there's got to be some sort of value for me to have sex with you. I'm not laying down with any woman unless she's paying me some money or doing some jobs for me. Point blank. I might as well be a pimp, really, at the end of the day, because I have a pimp mentality. So I'm just saying, like, all relationships are transactional. I don't care where you've been, because now that you've met me, these are my requirements, these are my standards, and I'm not budging on these things. So if you want to deal with me, these are the things that are going to be required of you. If I see you can do those things, we're going to be in good shape. I'll add value to you, and this is a transactional situation. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I like your approach where you take like 3 months at a time. It's almost like an expiring contract. Mm-hmm. That lets her know, hey, nothing is guaranteed. You could do a good job and I still decide to kick you to the curb. Or if you do a shitty job, I'll still kick you to the curb. Or I might just decide to kick you to the curb after 3 weeks and instead of 3 months. 100%. Aaron, you said you had one other point?
No, I made my 2 points. Just to add two more things, pimps love hoes, though. So I don't think that will work out as far as your pimp career. Blessings to you. And also, Donovan, Sinful the P. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He was on O'Shea's channel.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of Sinful the P. I think he's super chatted a few times when I was on a show. Yeah.
Can this guy make his point one more time? I didn't hear what he said to me. What did you say to me, Carl?
Talk about Sinful the P. Go ahead.
What did you say to me?
I said pimps love hoes.
Wait, say it again. Speak up, please.
Love hoes.
He said pimps love hoes?
I said pimps love hoes. So
Yeah,
I
well,
don't.
that's that, but that's let me say this. That's them. I mean, it's all transactional. They pretend to love them hoes. They don't really love them hoes. Okay, once they get out of line, that love is gone.
They love. They put their
It's entirely transactional. That love is transactional. Trust me.
You were
All
saying
right,
something
that's fair.
about
That's fair.
sinful.
Well, you guys have
Sinful
a
debate.
nice night. I appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Aaron in Chicago. Yeah, I mean, listen, pimps do love hoes as long as they're bringing in that money.
Yes, it's a transactional situation at
Did
best.
you love me? Yes, girl, I love you. Now get your ass back out there on the goddamn corner. Give me my 5,000 to take this cheeseburger.
That's right.
Let's go to Ian in California. Ian in California, can you turn a hoe into a housewife?
No, you can't. And
All
long
right.
time no here, Donovan. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's wow. It has been a while. Jesus, what you been up to, man?
Well, getting my life together, you know, and get my mindset right and doing all that stuff.
Good stuff, man. So what do you have on the subject, man? What you got?
Oh yeah, I got like 2 quick points.
Let's do it.
You can't because it's really dependent on the type of lifestyle that she lives. Because let's say she was actually, you know, a streetwalker.
Mm-hmm.
Coming down from that and trying to settle down and live like, you know, a housewife life.
Yep.
It's too slow because she's just so used to, you know, going from street corner to street corner, getting fast money and just like getting so much attention all at once, just to come come home to one dude and just sit there and just, you know, just be a homebody. That's not the lifestyle that she wants to live. So she will eventually cheat on that guy.
Okay.
And the second point, what EO said was great. Like the mindset that you need to have with all women. Let's say you do meet that one woman that's, you know, you meet that woman that's just, you know, beautiful in your eyes. You have to literally train yourself to view her 3 steps lower. So if she's a 10, she's either a 7 or a 6 in your eyes.
Like it.
Because like most dudes, when they view a beautiful woman, they just can't help to put her on a pedestal, and then that kind of screws them over. So you have to train your mindset to view all women 3 steps lower. So then you can just, you know, one, treat them as like a regular person, like everyday person. And then you can still keep your priorities set when you are vetting her. So those are the 2 points I wanted to make.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Ian in California. By the way, shout out to George Bruno, who's in the chat, says best duo on YouTube. I forgot to tell you this, EO. George gave me a call like after our very first show. He's like, "Yo, you guys are lightning in a fucking bottle." I was like, "Really?" And George is very, very critical. I like listening to that guy. So shout out to
George.
UB1
Let me say one quick thing to that. Unless you were going to go first, and I can follow you.
What was he talking about? Yes. I was actually going to pose this question to you. So the point he made was rock solid. If you're dating an 8, a 9, or a 10, you have to look at her and treat her as though she were 2 to 3 SMV points lower than she is. However, there's a caveat to this. You have to have extensive experience with hot girls. There are so many guys, and bless their hearts for they have the attaboy, that's the spirit. But a lot of guys, when they find this community, they get this. I don't care how hot she is. If she fucks up one time, she's fucking gone. No, she's not. And you do care how hot she is. We all do. But the only way to become impervious to a woman's beauty is to date a lot of beauty. Dude, date, fuck, get hurt by, get cheated on, deal with hot girls by the truckload. And at some point, it's almost like Tiger Tong Po in Bloodsport. He's kicking that palm tree with his shin, which is full of nerve endings. He's kicking that palm tree to deaden the nerves. That way, when he gets into the ring, he can throw that shin to your, and crack your skull with impunity and not worry about the nerve damage that's going to happen because he's already made those numb. You have to become numb to a woman's beauty. That is honestly, that's probably one of the most difficult things to do as a man. And even when you do become numb to a woman's beauty, every once in a while, that Novocaine will wear off just a little bit and you find yourself in a bad spot. What are your thoughts?
This is what you do with a hoe, guys. All right. So you got to do what the Bears did to Brian Urlacher at the tail end of his season. All right. They told Brian, they said, "Hey, we understand Monsters of the Midway, you and Lance Briggs, you guys had a nice run.
Yes.
You still want to play here? You've had a lot of injuries. We'll give you $1 million for 1 year.
Yep.
That's what, if I'm not mistaken, Phil Emery at the time, GM.
Phil Emery was the GM. He got
yes.
Yeah, I know.
And he told Urlacher, with everything Urlacher's done for that team, he said, "Hey, you want to play here? No problem. You could be a great mentor to the new guys coming up. We'll go ahead and give you $1 million after taxes and your agent. You might make about $450, but he didn't take it. He went into retirement. So that's pretty much what you need to offer these women that are pretty much low value hoes. If they want to fuck with you, give them the Phil Emery, man. Hey, this is what I'm willing to offer you.
Yep.
I'm going to be taking a look every 3 months to see what your progress is. And if any given point, I could franchise tag you, or I can extend you another year like Antonio Brown got extended with the Buccaneers. But,
yep.
It is what it is. Take it or leave it.
Listen, man, and to make a good sports reference here, this is why there are many reasons why the NFL is the number one league in America. The number one reason is because contracts aren't guaranteed. Number two, the inventory is a lot smaller. In baseball, you have 162. They're thinking about going to 154 games. In hockey, there are 82 games. NBA, there are 82 games. In NFL, there's only 16. Okay. That's the first reason. Going back to the first reason why the NFL is so great is because the contracts are non-guaranteed. What does this mean? What does that have to do with relationships, Donovan? What that has to do with relationships is how bad does she really want it? That's what it comes down to. If you're XYZ player and you are on your rookie contract and you're playing the Cincinnati Bengals for the division title, and you've got kind of a knee issue, you're like, you know what? I probably shouldn't play this game, but this is my contract here. You know what you go in there and do? You go and you take the Novocaine needle, you go out there and you do what you have to do. In the NBA, players don't do that. Players actually take days off for load management. The reason why they can do that is because number one, there's no salary cap, or there is a salary cap, but all contracts in the NBA are guaranteed. Baseball contracts are guaranteed in Major League Baseball. In the NFL, contracts are not guaranteed. What this means is that the players go out there and die on the field because they know that their contract can be torn up at any time for any reason or no reason. So when the Chicago Bears went to Brian Urlacher and say, hey, listen, we appreciate what you did for us. You literally carried us with Rex Grossman to Super Bowl 41, only to lose to Peyton Manning in the rain in Miami. We appreciate what you've done, but Brian, you're a shell of yourself. So if you really want to be here, we can put you on the field, but your boy Lance Briggs is better than you. We're going to have to give him the contract. We'll give you $1 million, take it or leave it. And guess what? At that point, Brian Urlacher has a choice to make. He can either stay with the Bears if he truly loves them, or he can go elsewhere. Guess what he decided to do? He decided to stay with the Bears, and then he retired. The point I'm trying to make is that with women, if there is any sort of comfort, if there's any sort of guarantee, if they know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you cannot and will not replace her, she gets lazy. All of a sudden, she turns into Kawhi Leonard. My pinky hurts. I'm going to sit out this game because I load manage it. She'll be like Clayton Kershaw. You know what? There's some stiffness in my shoulder. I think I'll go on the injured list. But you want your woman acting like she plays in the NFL. That contract is non-guaranteed, man. Even Dak Prescott's contract is not fully guaranteed. Your
No, I've been using the football analogies for quite some time now. Look at rookies when they come in the league. 3 years, man. You got to prove yourself. Just like Mitch Trubisky. I mean, I think he wasn't well coached, but they got rid of him and they went ahead and went after Fields after they gave Dalton $10 million. So that it's you could panic in the game too. You can overprice a bitch. You could think she's high quality because you're over pedestalizing her due to your lack of experience. So that's why Donovan said you got to have experience with women. You got to get flaked on. You got to have bitches be bitches.
Yep.
You got to have bitches disrespect you so that you can go back, draw it up, figure out what you could do better the next time, and then you master yourself. And now you're in control. You're in the power position at all times. So, and you got to be ruthless in the game. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Doesn't mean you have to be mean. You don't have to be an asshole. You just have to be fucking firm and be ruthless and know exactly what you want.
By the way, one of the main reasons Mitchell Trubisky didn't work out in Chicago, he only started 13 games in college.
True.
13
They asked too much of him. He was they asked too much of that guy. I mean, he was like, "Damn, you guys want me to do all this?"
Yeah, like he just didn't have the skill set. He started 13 games at the University of North Carolina. So he's down there playing Wake Forest and Duke, and you're going to draft this guy before Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
I was hoping that the Bears would do the dumb thing and not draft Justin Fields. So that he would fall to the Eagles, but we screwed the pooch because we didn't draft Justin Fields at number 6. It is what it is. Shout out to Michael Matrok IV with the $2 super sticker. Appreciate that. Uncomfortable Truth with the $5 super chat says it's more masculine females nowadays because females' sexual partners have increased since 1965. Numbers show more sexual partners for females less married. Yeah, the more sexual partners a female has had, the higher the chances that her marriage doesn't work out. That's just how that goes. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's go to Anthony in Houston. Anthony in Houston, can you turn a hoe into a housewife? Yes or no?
I would say no, and for the reason being is kind of like what this person with the super chat kind of mentioned. You know, they have the data showing that the women that constantly erode the carousel, you know, have the less likely to be married. And then also there's a difference to being loyal to a man for his resources and being loyal with your body. And it's like, okay, she's developed that behavior already to be loyal to a man only for that pimp for his resources, or whatever. But she's given out her body to other men.
That's interesting.
And so it just makes me wonder, as if she's already developed that behavior, can she actually do that in a relationship or a marriage?
You know, it's interesting. EO and I talked about that earlier in the show. I don't know if you heard it, but EO said, listen, man, if a girl hasn't been in a long-term relationship between 3 and 5 years, she probably doesn't have too much skill as far as actual relationship. Listen, every girl knows how to be in a situationship. Every girl knows how to be a fuck buddy, right? Because that's pretty much what they do most of the time. But not many women know how to be in an actual committed relationship.
That's why also a lot of women will only go with married men because they know there's no opportunity for advancement.
Ooh, wow.
They know there is no opportunity. So that's why they go with unavailable men, because they know that they would never be able to hang on to or sustain their position in a actual relationship. So that's why they go in situations that will not thrive.
Wow. And you want to know something? That's a self-esteem thing, man. Bitches are always talking about I'm this and I deserve that. There's precious little evidence of that as they inadvertently sabotage their relationships. Not only because they're self-destructive, but because deep down, they know they really ain't shit. Like, they know they're really not shit. Dude, that's just how it is. Anthony, I'll give you the last word, my friend.
And technically, too, you know, I'm just wondering because, like, technically from a more like evolutionary standpoint, would the pimp be kind of like the cuckold, where technically, like, she, you know, the pimp, it kind of helps provide resources because he's like managing her money or whatever. But yet with her giving her body to other men, she, you know, gives the risk of being impregnated by another man. That's what I'm thinking it from an evolutionary standpoint.
Yeah,
too.
listen. From an evolutionary standpoint, maybe. Economically, no, because she's not giving her body to another man. No, she is getting, as a matter of fact, he is getting paid for her body, right? So she can't give another man her body unless the pimp has a say so, and the pimp gets that money right in the hands right off the top. But what you were saying evolutionary wise, then it certainly makes sense. But unfortunately, women and men alike, we're not acting in our evolutionary best interests. Women, when they're young and hot, they tend to seek out superior physical genes, you know, the hot guy at the foam cannon party. Then when they're in their mid to late 30s, after they're all used up, now they're seeking out guys who for their resources. Nobody wants a barren womb. And it's just like the other caller said, I forgot what his name was, but he said the reason why, and it's not even a streetwalker. Women who ride the carousel in their 20s and 30s, that's like doing crystal meth. Because listen, I'll tell you something here, EO, and thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Anthony. I'll tell you something, EO. There is, I'm not going to sit here and tell women that it's more. I'm not going to sit here and not acknowledge that it's a lot more exciting for women to sleep around with random dudes than it is to be in a committed relationship. Being in a committed relationship is not as exciting as sleeping around. However, women have to think long term. So while sleeping around is more exciting, it's not fulfilling. While being in a committed relationship is not as exciting, it is very fulfilling. And of course, as we all know, women never think long term. They're only thinking the short term.
No, I completely agree with you. Relationships are boring, they're mundane, they're simple, but that's a good thing. You want that. If you want to make money and you want to have, if you want to have children, if you want to, have a legacy, have somebody carry on your last name. If these things are important to you, if you're going to get married, I mean, you want a simple girl. You want to give her activities on the weekend. Hey, listen, we're going to go to Menards. We're going to get some supplies. You're going to paint the spare room. It was yellow. Now it's going to be sky blue, and we're going to put a couch in there. And then that's going to be your little work area. And I want you to fucking paint pictures for the house. I mean, that's what relationships are.
And put her to work. And you and I, this is where you and I connected, man, is we are both firm believers. Put her ass to work, man.
Yes.
Give her tasks, give her assignments, give her responsibilities. Make herself useful to you. Women only value what they are required to work for. That's the bottom line.
And one last thing on that point, this is very crucial. The more she does, the more she invests, the less likely she's going to want to abandon it.
Bingo.
Okay, so the more, if she knows I painted that room, I decorated that room.
Yes.
I gave him $15,000 last year to invest in his business. Okay. She's going to have a hard time parting with those things. But if you make her do nothing and she gets in on looks alone and sex, brother, it's inevitable. She's going to cheat on you.
Listen, I could not have said that any better myself. A lot of guys like to ask us, why are girls so quick to pull the ripcord? Because she doesn't have any skin in the game. The reason why women want to work for your attention and affection is because they want to know it's worth something. If you just give it to her for nothing but fucking you and looking good, she's not going to value your commitment, because guess what? You've shown her that you don't value your commitment either. And because she doesn't have skin in the game, because she didn't work for your affection, because she did for you what she's done for 374 other men, then of course she's going to pull the ripcord. She's not going to take any sort of financial, emotional, or monetary loss. She's up out of there. You must make a woman invest herself, her time, her money, and her emotions. The more of all of those things she invests, the much more likely she is to stick it out. Because again, just like men, we need a return on our investment. Women need a return on their investment too. But you have to make them invest. The only way to get a woman to want a return on investment is to make them invest. If they don't invest anything, there's no reason to stick around.
That's right.
Shout out to David, who is a new member. I'm going to get to Urson in Miami here in just a second. Uncle Guns, $10, says, how many bodies or flags means nothing to me. If she passes my vetting and demonstrates she wants to be on my program, she's eligible for hire. Salute to the value you can only find on elite level game. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Very, very good. Okay, let's go to Urson in Miami. Wait a minute. Come on now. Okay, Urson in Miami. You're on live with EO. Can you turn a hoe into a housewife?
I believe no, my friend.
Okay.
And I mean, in this modern era, my friend, I don't think it's even. I mean, it's possible, but is it probable? And
there you go.
I mean, I wouldn't go. I mean, if you have a lot of money, maybe you could try, but it's not smart to do it.
It's not a worthwhile investment, is it?
It's not. It's horrible, my friend. It's horrible. Donovan, I'm a really big fan of you, bro. And this is actually the first time that I actually called a show.
Oh, cool.
Being honest with you.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate
That's
that.
awesome.
You're down there in Miami, man. Dev and I we're gonna be down there sometime in late January, man. So I'll be sure to let everyone know on social media. Maybe we can meet up.
Man, that would be perfect, man. It's hilarious because I saw Myron Gaines.
Yeah.
I was in Brickell.
Yep.
And I saw him, and man, I wish I could have just stopped the car and just talked to him. He was like chilling. I think it was like I don't know. I don't know. He was refreshed.
Sure.
But man, it was something to see, man.
He's not hard to miss, man. He's like, I'm 6'2", Myron is 6'3", so he is very, very tall, very hard to miss. He's very, very, very distinctive looking. But yeah, Myron is a good friend of mine. Listen, thanks for the call, Yerson. I appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you, man. Before anything, I just want to say, man, keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Thank you.
Society needs men like you, my man.
You know it. You know it.
Being honest.
You're sitting in the 305 checking in. Now, he said something interesting. He said, if you have money, you might be able to turn. And I don't think that's what he meant, but I'm thinking if you had the resources, that you have the time. But then again, like we see this all the time, don't we, EO? And this is on television, movies, and in real life. Older guy, 55 years old. He's with a 20-something boob job. She's, you know, a solid 10. She's just on her phone, chewing bubble gum, you know, the bleach blonde hair and all that good stuff. Is even if you're retired and you're set for life financially, do you think it's worth it for a man to have that kind of a woman around, or is it just a preference thing?
It depends. Now, if he's a divorced man, he's already had a marriage, he's raised his children, then yes, I do think it's worth it. If you've never been married, you don't have any kids, I mean, you might have more fun with a woman that you can travel with. I mean, it all depends on your preferences. You know, there's men out there that are intellectuals. They want to have good conversation. They don't just want this sexual picture, this figure walking towards them, and they actually want to converse with the woman. They want the woman to add value on vacations. You know, if he's paying for it, maybe she's arranging everything, you know, so it's not just all about looks. Let me also tell that caller something. Remember, on a football team, you got your running back, you got your second RB, you got a halfback. You got to know where to place women. Okay. If you're looking to put every woman you meet in the starting role, you'll lose every time. You got to keep in mind that you got to have that woman that is campaigning for the starting role. Okay, maybe she's not there yet, but you still got that halfback that you throw in on third down. Okay, if you got a chick in your rotation that's promiscuous or used to be a hoe or whatever, she's good to have on the team. You know, she knows how to run a game. You could take her to the casino. You can walk around the casino, play blackjack with her. She knows how to converse with men. I'm not saying because so you could rob them, but you know, but if, you know, it depends. It depends on what game you play. I mean, if you are a con artist or whatever, but you know, there's you know, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there's all types of games going on in the one game. So it's good to have a woman that's got some experience. You don't have to wife her, you don't have to fall in love with her, but you guys can benefit one another.
Dude, I used to date this super hot girl down in Vegas, and one of the things I used to pimp her out all the time. I'll be like, go up and flirt with the host and get us a seat. She'll do it every single time. If we're in a bodega or whatever, how much does he say? $3? Like, I don't know, shake her tits and tell him $2. Works every time. You know, flirt with the waiter, flirt with the whatever it is you have to do. Put her to work for you. Listen, this is the thing, man. No matter what kind of woman she is, no matter how many guys she slept with, women want to work for you. They want to surrender. They want to help you. Dude, Devin gets immense joy from just doing the simplest little things to help me out around the house or on my show. She makes a big deal out of it because she genuinely likes making me happy, because she knows that if I win, she wins. This is called, again, having skin in the game. Okay, let's go to Carlos in New Jersey. Carlos in New Jersey, you're on live with EO and Donovan. Can you turn a hoe into a housewife?
How you doing, guys? I wanted to speak from my own experience.
Okay.
I'm currently with I'm with a chick. I met her by tricking, right? Like, okay. I saw her and I used to pay my money to bang her. Did it like 6 times. I wasted about $1,000, right? Got her madly in love with me, right? She came a bunch of times with me, right? And then she, you know what? I said, you know what? Fuck this. I want to try this. I want to date. This girl's 36, has 3 kids. I was like, fuck this. You know what? Let me give it a try. Let me give this, all this, not scary. All right. I was like, I'm a little bit curious to see what happens. Okay. So then, you know, she went to Spain, whatever. She came back and, I started taking her serious, whatever. And she told me that when she comes, right, I started getting into that blue pill, a little bit of a mentality. I told her, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, during this time, I didn't have my own place yet. So I worked on it, right? And then when she got here, that kind of also, like, motivated me a bit. I was like, yo, you know what? I'm living with my father right now. So I was like, let me get my shit together. Let me have my own place.
Oh, no.
I got my own place, right?
Okay,
I increased my SMV a bit.
Okay, your own place. Okay.
A bit. So she came, and she loved it. You know, we had a good time. And then, now here's the thing: she goes to Connecticut because you know, she wanted to make money. Supposedly, she sold coke. So she was out there supposedly selling coke from 8 to 1. I'm like, really?
Wow.
I'm like, really?
Holy.
Okay,
God.
let's see. I got into her phone. Boom. She's a stripper.
Oh, shit. Oh my God.
And then but she looks good, bro. Like fat ass and everything. So, you know, I was like, you know what, whatever.
Oh no! What are you doing, Carlos? You're killing me.
I was like, whatever. I'll give you another chance, bro.
Oh my
Thing
God.
is, man, at this age, like, I'm 26, so I'm working very hard. I'm trying to improve myself, but like, yo, I really like hate just like how do I say, spend like that mental shit, like just getting girls like annoying. So I was like, you know what, I have this right now. I want to focus on myself, and I have this consistent pussy. I feel like I'm all right, and I don't have to focus like on other chicks. So I was like, whatever. And yeah, and then boom, I caught her again. And here we are, bro. And I call her again. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. That's all I gotta say. Nope. But you know, in the process, you know, I at least I got my SMV up a bit, and now here I am. Not worth it, yo. She made it look like she even cooked and cleaned and everything for me too.
Oh God! Oh no! She mimicked a housewife.
I bought into that dream. I bought into it, and no, it's just not worth it. So like, to all the followers, everyone who's listening, is don't do it. That's all I have to say. Appreciate
that, Carlos. We're gonna get to Carlos in Chicago. What are your thoughts on? Wow, that was something.
I see a lot of problems with what he said, but he got a lot of experience out of it, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
You got to role play with Heaux. I mean, you could be her husband for the night, but you can't be her husband because, you know,
I love it.
I mean, I really do mean this. It was something I used to do back in the day. If I knew a chick was kind of like a, you know, just kind of, she's like for the streets. I mean, you know, when a chick is not ready, or she just ain't ready for all that. So you can give her like, if she earns it, you could say, hey, check this out. We're going to go to the casino tonight. We're going to run some game. We're going to make some money. You're my wife tonight. Put a ring on your finger. I'll put a ring on my finger. We're going to tell everybody we're married or whatever. So, you know, but you got to have your mental and emotional discipline down, and dick discipline down too, in order to do these types of things. So, you know, he went in and got an apartment for the bitch. You know, that's a problem. You need to get an apartment for yourself. You need to do everything for the man. And then, you know, women always come last. So that was the big thing that jumped out at me, Devin, was that he said, yeah, I was living with my dad. And I went and got a place, you know, because he was trying to keep that hoe. And so never do anything for a woman. Always do it for yourself.
Listen, man, the one reason, and we've all made terrible mistakes.
Yes.
Carlos is he's no exception. Yeah. But again, this goes back to what I said earlier. In order to become impervious to the wiles of attractive women, you must have extensive experience with attractive women. This was his first go round. She taught him many, many lessons. Hopefully the next big booty stripper he runs upon, he smashes and dashes. So here's to Carlos in New Jersey. Let's go to Carlos in Chicago. I think Carlos in Chicago, I think you called in earlier. So can you turn a hoe into a housewife?
Oh, I didn't call in early. I called in yesterday because I saw your show, but I caught it. But yeah, no, I'm glad you guys are back with ELG. I really do. I like it a lot. I'm glad we're having this talk tonight. And yeah, I think it's possible you can. I mean, it's a long shot though, because, you know, a promiscuous woman, she's dealing with a lot of problems, maybe trauma, maybe bad boyfriends and everything. And I just think it's a lot for a man to take on though, especially if you're not ready and don't have experience. But
yeah,
I think if you got experience and you can navigate throughout the relationship and not be a complete blue pill simp, it's possible. I mean, I had this one girl, she was for the streets, and man, she gave me roller coaster rides. She threw in a lot of things in the mix of our relationship, but I felt the test though, for sure. I know we talk about poop tests a lot, and I never really heard of that until I started listening in the manosphere and the red pill space about it. And I'm like, wow, that makes sense, because a woman will test you, and in these 304s, they will test you a lot. And if you fall for a lot, you're gonna you're going to be playing her game and she's going to start losing respect for you for sure. So it's tough to do it, but I'd say for the most part, it's not worth it for the average man. And it's too much after a while. So I just think it's a waste of time most of the time. So, but it's possible though. I mean, you got to really want to invest in her and like Coach EO says, coach her. It's going to be a lot. It's a lot of work and it's just not worth it though.
Okay. Carlos in Chicago, thank you for checking in. Yeah, I like what he said was similar to someone else. Is it possible? Sure, anything's possible. Is it likely? No, of course not. Right? You have to do, and again, we're men, right? We play the percentages. Baseball managers they play percentages all the time. Okay, I've got a left-handed batter coming up. I don't want to get him on base, so I'm going to go to the bullpen and call the left-handed reliever because I know this lefty hits 150 points lower against lefties than he does righties. You play the percentage. Now, that guy might hit a home run, he might strike out, but if you're going to go down, if you're going to lose on the possibility, don't lose on the probability.
Yeah, there was something. I agree with that completely. And there was something that was a good call, by the way. He said some good things there. Oh, stop worrying about a woman's shit test and start shit testing her. I've been saying this for the longest time, is like, stop worrying about the game she's going to run on you and start, controlling the situation, control the conversations. If she brings something up that's unnecessary for the two of you to be talking about, you need to redirect the conversation. Like, yo, I know that's important to you right now, but we're not talking about that right now. We'll revisit that topic later. We're talking about this. And what that does is that recalibrates the woman, and she goes, oh, okay. And so you have to be leading every single facet of any relationship, whether she's a hoe or she's the preacher's daughter. I don't give a fuck who she is. You have to be dictating and controlling every single facet of the relationship. And if you're worried about her shit testing you've already lost. You really need to be thinking about, if at any given time she introduces something that is just uncalled for or unnecessary to what's happening, you shoot it down and redirect.
Good stuff, man. It's interesting, and we'll go to Alvin in Australia right after this. The interesting thing about shit tests is when early on in game, like when you're just now sort of trying to, get your bearings with women, it feels like a shit test. But the longer you live this lifestyle, the more natural they become. You don't have to think about anything. You simply react the way you're going to react, and you end up passing shit test as a natural byproduct of your consistency as a man. That's just all there is to it. So if your woman decides to, throw a fit because of whatever, because you're not, taking her to dinner tonight, you're not going to react. You're just going to sit there and continue to watch TV and do what the hell you do until she calms the fuck down. And you're not even thinking about, okay, she's shit testing me, so I need to know. This is just what you do. Responding to shit tests early on in your masculine renaissance, it has to be voluntary because you have to actually think about doing it. But year 5, 6, all the way to 10, you get to our point, it's just a reaction. It's just, listen, another football reference. When I remember the greatest defense I ever saw play was the 2000 Ravens. And I remember Ray Lewis always said the difference between our defenses and other defenses is we don't think, we just react. And when you react quicker. Dude, they dump trucked the Giants in Super Bowl 35. Right. And I remember there was a running play and like they did it in slow motion. As soon as the ball was snapped, Ray Lewis is already running to his left. I'm like, how does he know which way to run? He's just reacting. Now, early on in this was actually, I think, his 3rd or 4th season, but later on in his career, this is why he's one of the greatest linebackers ever. He has so much experience. Same with Peyton Manning. Same with anybody who has experience with a lot of these things. You're just reacting. And with women, if you have a lot of experience, you don't have to think, you just react.
And one last thing to that already great point. Okay. The more advanced you get in the game, the more you can read defenses. So you can you can gauge how she's feeling based on the tone of her voice, how she text messaged you. So you're gauging how to get, not necessarily gauging the defense, but you're gauging her emotion, her feeling right now. So then you already know, okay, so she's going to run left right here based on how she feels. I've studied her behavior. When she gets like this, I know exactly what to do. I'm going to cut in the middle and I'm going to bounce around or whatever. I'm going to avoid the chip, basically, whatever. So you got to learn how to read the women you deal with. You got to study their habits, see how fickle they are. Okay, what does she get emotional to? What shows does she watch? After she watches this show, I notice she becomes a little more materialistic. Why? She's watching the fucking Housewife, so she wants to be like them right now. So like it's even your job really to kind of like monitor shows. I know that sounds really fucked up, but if your girl's watching a show and you know that show has an impact on how she feels, you gotta somehow throw a monkey wrench in her desire to want to watch that show.
This is why you gotta pay the fuck attention, guys. Dude, listen, do not sleepwalk through your relationships. Listen, man, and we'll get to Alvin Australia in just a second. Your woman is telling you how to handle her all the time, but she's not doing it directly. She's doing it indirectly. And here's something else I tell guys: get a cycle calendar. Get a cycle calendar. Track your girl's period. Devin right now is ovulating. So all she's thinking about is dick. That's why I've dicked her down. Dude, that's why I've dicked her down the last 2-3 nights in a row. Oh, that's why she's horny, because she's ovulating. Why is she so emotional? Oh, she's in her luteal phase. Why is she a little bit short-tempered? Oh, she's PMSing. So I'm going to give her distance. And if she snaps at me, I'm going to snap back. You have to understand women on a chemical level. Yes. And I mean that in the most literal sense, because women, and you have to understand this is next level game here, guys. Women are never chemically identical from one day to the next. They go through 30 to 31 different chemical reactions every day, because each and every day in her cycle is different. Now, some might be similar to others, but for a woman to be able to bring life into the world, their bodies have to work in such a way that prepares them to do this every single month. Yeah. To that end, they're never really chemically identical from one day to the next. You have to pay attention. What is she like when she's on her period? What is she like when she's ovulating? Sometimes guys will say, she's really acting like a bitch, but she's ovulating. This means she definitely wants the dick. When a woman is restless fucking dick, when she's moody, smack her booty. That's what I always say, man. Pay attention in your relationships, guys. EO made the point.
And that was a great point. And here's another thing I hear you talk about all the time. This is why you don't want your girl on social media, is because when she watches other women walking in their outfits with their hair in the wind and this nice purse and whatever, they're getting all these hearts and attention. She now wants a piece of that pie. She just does. She's going to want that to some degree. So she might be then that saying, oh, can we go to the Coach store? It's like, okay, where'd this come out of the blue? It's because she saw another woman on social media walking with a Coach purse. Okay. So she wants what other women have, and it's not always sensible. So that's why you do have to control every facet. And this is why social media is such a problem. It's because no one knows who they are, so they become who somebody else is. And then you got your girlfriend here who's on Instagram all day, and she's no longer your girlfriend. She's another woman that she saw on Instagram. So this is why you don't want her on there. It's not because we want to be controlling. No. It's because she's going to make a fucking job harder.
That's right. She's trying to become the fake version of someone else who is fake. Nobody wins in that situation. Yes. Danny Arnold says the intensity of the Mario music makes it like a cliffhanger, so intense. Yeah, guys love the Mario music. All right, last call of the evening. Let us go to Alvin in Australia. Alvin, can you turn a hoe into a housewife?
Hello, Donovan.
Hey, how you doing,
brother?
Can you
hear me?
I sure can.
I'm good. I'm good. The answer is hell no. Listen, I have a story. It's a long story, but I'll try and short it up as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Back in the day when I was, how old was I then? I think my late 20s or so. Late 20s or so. There was this, let's say, hoe that I met. She was the classic, pretty one hoe that's actually a streetwalker. Met her a couple of times, used her services. Then I think at some point,
go on.
At some point, she was pressing for a relationship, whatever. I'm like, it might be cheaper economically. Stupid blue pill mindset. So we eventually got together.
Okay.
And man, the mood swings were out of this world.
See that?
Jesus Christ. And I had not dealt with a lot of women, and I was going on hard levels. It was a disaster waiting to happen. She was like, still had the mindset that, oh, I'm still a hoe, so you have to pay me like a hoe and treat me as a girlfriend. I'm like, how do you reconcile those two events? Of course, wild mood swings and everything. Up to a point, I'm like, the last straw was when stupid me, she was trying to start up a business or whatever, so he didn't even know how to do it. So I had to connect the whole thing, buy some goods from China and everything, not ship it down and everything. So I calculated everything, but I mixed some things up. So the shipping rate, or rather the clearance.
Oh, Blog Talk Radio just quit on me. Oops. All right. I guess Blog Talk Radio knows you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Alvin said, hell no. God, these stories, I'm gonna tell you what, man, dude, some of my stories are cringeworthy. I think that's gonna do it, man. I think this was a hell of a show. EO, any closing thoughts on today's topic?
Yeah, like many of you guys, if you haven't seen the movie Ocean's 11, you really need to watch it. Like each man had a different job to accomplish the end goal. It's not like they asked George Clooney, Brad Pitt, and all the other guys to do every single job. Depending on your skill set, you had one job. Then you pass it on to the next person. Don't expect these hoes to know how to do everything, okay? If you're not going to marry anybody, you should have a team of women, and each woman has a strength, has a talent, and they're all working towards the big goal. What's the big goal? Well, it's your goal, but you got to have a goal. You have to have a program. So I just want to tell you guys that stop expecting these women to perform every single job. They're not going to be able to. Now, if eventually down the road you find a woman that can do 7 out of 10 jobs, you're in pretty good shape. You're in pretty good shape. But if while you're young, man, do not expect a lot from these women. They have no talent. They don't know how to communicate. They must be coached. So just remember, in Ocean's 11, they found 11 guys to all perform an individual task to all accomplish the one big goal. So I'm Coach EO. You could find me at my channel, Coach EO, and my website is championgamecoaching.com. Thank you, Donovan.
Absolutely, man. The last thing I'll say is this, and I think you'll agree with me on this one as well. The number one thing that men should stop doing when you start seeing a woman sexually is imagining being in a relationship with her. Okay. Yes. And listen, I used to be guilty of this all the time, but that's not, and the thing is this, man, it's not unnatural for your mind to go that way. When you're having sex, the more times you have sex with a woman, I mean, no matter how few times a week it is, the longer you spend with a woman, the more, the more likely you are to catch feelings for her. But what you have to do is just understand is that whatever sexual relationship you are in, at some point, it is probably going to end. And so you lived your life without her before. Stop thinking of every girl you stick your dick in as a potential girlfriend. It's not easy to do, and we're men. We always think into the long term. You need to start thinking like women in this regard. When you start fucking a woman, only think about it short term. Only when she gives you a reason to think long term, and in other words, she seems to be making a bid, putting in an application. At that point, then you maybe start to entertain thoughts. So just understand, stop thinking about long-term relationships with every girl you stick your dick in. And I think that I think this is going to be I think that's going to be the best advice. Shout out to Unique79 who sent a $13.76 Cash App, said fire game tonight, gentlemen, value for value. Thank you very much for that. Unique71 or 79. Geez, now I can't read. Thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. Tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, the premiere of the 6th season 5 episode 1. Both of us will be on that panel. The topic tomorrow is, are relationships obsolete in 2021? Do men have any reason to pursue relationships of consequence with women today? I think that'll be an excellent topic. We'll open up the phone lines as well. EO, thank you very, very much for joining us tonight. Thank you guys for joining.